Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Thursday, July 16, 2026, and we are tracking massive shifts across the medical field, from a sutureless heart surgery breakthrough to critical updates impacting medical examinations globally. Let's jump straight into the headlines. Sutureless bypass trial success. Peer-reviewed one-year data for the Alana anastomotic system was published today in the Journal of Thoracic and Cardiovascular Surgery. This device enables the first sutureless, beating heart bypass connections, potentially cutting direct hospital costs by up to 50%. The NET 2026 legal resolution. India's Supreme Court formally dismissed petitions challenging the cancellation of the initial May 3 medical entrance exam, noting that the nationwide retest on June 21 rendered the complaints infructuous. A parliamentary panel met today to audit the overall proficiency of regulatory bodies under the National Medical Commission, NMC. Global Pediatric Health Epidemic. Fresh data from the Kids' Rights Index 2026, https://www.instagram.com/real/dzpydcnsfem, reveals a historic inflection point. Global adolescent and childhood obesity rates have officially surpassed underweight metrics for the first time in human history. Segment 2, Clinical and Regulatory Breakthroughs. Next, we move to clinical and regulatory advancements reshaping chronic disease management. If you track oncology or nephrology, this week has delivered major therapeutic updates. Drug/intervention indication/focus, core mechanism/clinical impact. Rivtorpic HR plus/HER2 metastatic breast, first-in-class multi-target PI3K/mTOR. Gedatolisib, cancer, PIK3CA wild-type, inhibitor, cuts progression risk by 76%. Trutacna primary IgA nephropathy, weekly self-administered injection. Atacicept VYMJ, autoimmune kidney disease, achieves 46% proteinuria reduction. Gazyva, primary membranous, granted FDA priority review. Obinutuzumab, nephropathy, PMN, first potential approved PMN therapy. Rivtorpic, gedatolisib, full approval, following its regulatory milestone on July 14. Clinical discussions today highlighted Celcuity's Rivtorpic. In Phase 3 data, it lowered the risk of disease progression by a staggering 76% when paired with palbociclib and fulvestrant. Trutacna's rapid scale-up. Industry analysis today focused on the logistics behind Vera Therapeutics, Trutacna, an accelerated approval therapy targeting proteins vital to abnormal antibody production in chronic kidney diseases. Gazyva enters priority review. Roche announced that the US FDA accepted a supplemental application with priority review for Gazyva to treat primary membranous nephropathy, a leading cause of chronic kidney failure. Segment 3, Cutting-edge lab research and biotech discovery. Automated genome mining pipelines and 3D cell culture systems. Behind every approved drug are years of lab breakthroughs. Today, scientists published several mechanisms that completely alter our understanding of stubborn diseases. AI in genome mining unlocks new antibiotic. Researchers unveiled Discern, an AI-driven genome mining platform that scans silent bacterial gene clusters to discover discomycin A. This previously hidden compound acts as a powerful calcium-dependent lipopeptide antibiotic effective against aggressive gram-positive pathogens. The cellular switch behind lung fibrosis. A newly published study from Monash University utilized a 3D tissue culture system to show how the structural protein vitronectin acts as an unintended signal. It alters how healing macrophages produce energy, accidentally reprogramming them to cause permanent organ scarring rather than tissue repair. A new T-cell angle on leukemia. Immunologists at the UTMB Anderson Cancer Center uncovered an entirely new pathway through which T-cells identify and destroy acute myeloid leukemia, AML, cells, mapping out clearer routes for next-generation immunotherapies. Segment 4, Public Health, Lifestyle, and Diagnostics. Let's look at public health studies hitting the wire today that directly influence consumer wellness choices and early diagnostics. Asterisk vaping imposes 15% fitness penalty. A newly published clinical evaluation in ERJ Open Research checked cardiovascular efficiency in active young adults. The data confirms that regular e-cigarette use correlates to a 15% reduction in overall exercise capacity and lower ventilatory efficiency compared to non-vaping peers. Asterisk the finger prick metabolic health monitor. Researchers published proof-of-concept data for a simplified blood test utilizing the glucose ketone index, GKI. This simple test could give chronic disease and cancer prevention clinics a quantitative biomarker to track real-time metabolic health directly from a patient's home. Asterisk dietary risk correlates. A comprehensive meta-analysis tracked the impact of high chili pepper consumption across global populations. While heavy consumption showed an observational correlation with esophageal cancer risks due to capsaicin irritation, researchers emphasized that regional cooking habits, genetics, and background lifestyle factors mean more long-term tracking is required to prove direct causation. Hashtag segment 5, Healthcare Systems and Industry News. To wrap up our reporting, let's take a look at the business, administrative, and technological infrastructure keeping healthcare running. Asterisk surgical robotics move to physical AI. Ahead of the upcoming second Global Health Summit, GHS 2026, in August, Cornerstone Robotics previewed trends in physical AI aimed at expanding the precision and accessibility of robotic surgical rooms. Asterisk medical training framework blocks. In administrative legal news, the Delhi High Court barred the implementation of a new clinical psychology academic framework on currently enrolled students to avoid disrupting ongoing medical training streams. Asterisk spotlighting healthcare workers. Johnson & Johnson, in partnership with Time, officially launched nominations for a National Healthcare Champion of the Year award to identify frontline professionals driving systemic improvements amid widespread industry burnout. Kitchen sponges. Kitchen sponges are among the most commonly used cleaning tools in homes, yet they may also be one of the underestimated sources of foodborne pathogens. Researchers at the German Federal Institute for Risk Assessment, BFR, found that Escherichia coli, Salmonella enteritidis, and Staphylococcus aureus can multiply rapidly in kitchen sponges, even when only small numbers of bacteria are initially present. Importantly, unpleasant odors, discoloration, and a slimy surface did not reliably indicate microbial contamination. Medscape. Myopia in children. Low-dose atropine eye drops modestly slowed the progression of myopia in children according to a randomized placebo-controlled trial published in the BMJ. The findings add to growing evidence supporting low-dose atropine as an adjunct to optical interventions for myopia control. Medscape. Hashtag segment 6, outro and audience engagement. Hashtag host outro. That covers your high-density medical briefing for today, July 16, 2026. Before you click away, let's get the conversation started in the comments. Which of today's updates do you think will impact patient care first, the sutureless bypass device or the AI-discovered antibiotic? Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button to help us beat the algorithm, and I will see you in the next update. Stay healthy. Disclaimer: compiled information. This content is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. The audience must verify the contents before use. The creator, publisher, and YouTube will not be responsible for any harm.